To play SA Schools is every young kid's dream because that really sets them apart from all the other schoolboys.
A lot of the boys you see at an early age, this guy's got it, he's got something special in him.
Standing up in the morning, you must have that nervousness. Today I'm playing.
To see the opportunity, straight running from the side note. That's brilliant play from South Africa. Super offload, and back inside comes JD Jackson.
The ball's been set up. Now, is that a try? Yes, it is! Crescent with the second.
It's a reward for many years of hard work.
You know, you can't put a price on that, on those smiles. You can't put a price on those beams when the guy puts on his green and gold blazer for the first time.
Playing SS Schools was obviously a dream come true. You know, I've always wanted to play SS Schools. Obviously, when I was still a lighty, you know, sitting at home watching the SS School guys play.
Because I had nothing to lose. I can just play my heart out.
I think the biggest thing for me was learning from really well-experienced coaching staff.
Because everybody wants to be an SS Schools player, but first you got to do your job at Craven first.
I wouldn't say that the 2020 SA Schools team would have been an easy team to play against.
And the pinnacle at schoolboy level is pulling on that green jersey and knowing you've now officially staked your claim to become a professional rugby player.
My name is Bafana Nhleko. I'm the Junior Springbok Assistant Coach. I also am the EPD High Performance Coach at SARU. EPD stands for Elite Player Development, so it's a program run by SARU in conjunction with the schools and the players as the stakeholders. Ultimately, Nico Serfontein runs EPD1, which focuses on identifying players at under 15 to under 16. And the idea from then on is we then start tracking players. It's from 15 into under 16. At 15 years old, some of them will play their Kawa week, so we'll track guys from there. We'll track them through their school games into the under 16s, where the Grand Como provincial week would happen. They then move on to the EPD2 program under Herman Masimla, which filters into the SA Schools program, that is.
As we see now, particularly with the EPD program, there's a clear pathway now from Craven Week to SA Schools to SA Under 20, and obviously getting into that pipeline.
The key characteristics in identifying a kid is there has to be some form of ability. So he must possess some sort of rugby talent. And then there's what the player is, or who the player is as a human. And we're looking for coachability. We're looking for our identities for people who work hard. We don't necessarily look for the rock star, but someone who we can go a long way with.
Louis works extremely hard between the two camps, between the under 16s and under 17s, and eventually they get to really, really good SA school teams, because, I mean, to think that we're actually playing against international under 19 players where our schoolboys are 17 or 18.
South African schools up against the England Rugby Under 18 team. The long pass to his captain, who's found some space, got some superb running. Can he make it? Yep, what an individual try.
Argentina plays South Africa. Well, to take down the player there. Vilabla goes over. SA Schools take on France. Duciel. Oh, Tibergine carves through the South African Schools defense.
The second of two matches, and this will be between South African Schools and the Wales Under-19 teams. Ball is the fly up from the Free State critical Louis Schroeder. And there's a chance on the blind side for the Welsh. Popped it inside. Is that pass not gone forward? Well, it doesn't appear so, and over the line go Wales.
Boys are getting watched throughout, you know, if they come into the high performance systems and the 16s, but they get monitored really carefully. So the school games become really important, festival games become important, and then the Craven Week is just there to confirm that they should be there.
Craven Week is the grooming process. It identifies which players can produce under pressure, and from there, the South African Schools identifies can they carry that into a more difficult environment again.
One can look at the Junior Springbok results and our conversion rate and turnover rate from SA Schools Junior Springbok to Springbok has certainly increased, and in my opinion, it's due to that program.
So in a nutshell, part of the selection process is not just looking at talent, it's looking at a guy who's got the mental capacity to handle a week like that. You know, they get together on Sunday, new information, new group of guys, maybe he's lost his inter-schools, so he's not in the best state of mind. How does he get himself up? How does he prepare himself to ensure that on Saturday he's up there in his green and gold, you know, singing his national anthem and performing for the SA Schools team?
Singing the anthem was, I won't forget that. It's definitely the most rewarding feeling, I guess, during your high school career.
It's an unexplainable feeling. It was just emotions running through. It was everything actually just felt slow motion.
To sing the national anthem for your country is something big. I think that that's the biggest thing of the whole game, is to sing your national anthem, to stand there with pride, with the bok on your jersey.
Yeah, singing the anthem for the first time as a young kid, you know, it was amazing and obviously a huge honor.
It was something emotional because of, just to watch in front of you, to see your whole family watching you, they're all just cheering for you, so.
I sang it 6 times, but every time it felt like I was singing it for the first time, those emotions.
The one thing that they told us there is just to really give in to the experience, because for some people it might not happen again, or it might not happen in a long time. So I think it was really something to savor, because it's a sense of pride that you don't really get anywhere else.
And you can hear everyone else singing. It's really emotional, and it's really such a special feeling.
Yeah, that was very emotional. The first game was very emotional. Singing the national anthem really meant a lot. I was very nervous. I'm not going to lie, I was very nervous for the first game, but it was very special.
Yeah, I can remember that day on City Park, my first game against Wales. And yeah, you know, just to be there in that moment and to realize that you're representing your country for the first time, you know.
Just the feeling and the hard work that I put into to represent the country was something that I looked forward to, and was something that I enjoyed. And also just to be that person also in my family that managed to represent South Africa playing rugby.
It was the best feeling ever. It was my first time being in that system, but I think it's given me a lot of opportunities, open doors for me.
I guess it's what rugby is about, you know, and I mean, even now at a professional level, you play against each other for your franchises and stuff, but then when you come together and play for the Springboks, you need to buy into that one idea, and I think that's really amazing about rugby, how, you know, the one weekend you could be smashing into each other, you know, and then the following weekend, you know, you're together fighting for that one goal.
For our boys, it's the first time they get a real sense of that feeling of, this is what I've worked for, this is what it means for me, I'm here, I'm at this stage. And after this moment, you know, I've got to go out and perform.
And the fact that you're playing against the guys that are a year older, guys that are already played international rugby at junior level, but they've done very well over the last couple of years. They've really done well in terms of they only have like a week or 10 days to prepare. Whereas the guys coming from the north they've been playing rugby together for a year or two already in the age groups.
Under 18 series was a huge step up, even from Craven. The players were absolutely amazing. They're great guys. They would be focused. They would be dedicated to what we had to do.
The work that goes in, even though we were still young, but now we were competing on a sort of mini test level, and work in behind the scenes, you know, because you're facing like an international opponent.
Definitely nerve-wracking for me, you know, as it was my first time playing SA Schools, you know, I mean, it's such a step up. I think it was something that I needed in my rugby career, because obviously as a player, you always want to measure yourself against the best in the world.
But now I know that there was going to be competition, because in my mind, I always knew that I was 17 when I made Craven. So there's obviously under 17s that are coming up. They're going to want to do the same thing.
So I think it was also a big blessing for me. I didn't say maybe because I've made it last year, now I can relax. Nah, that was not the point. But for me, it was like, I still need to work hard. I still need to fight for my place. obviously, and make the best out of it, you know. But it's very special.
I thought the speed at Craven Week was comparable to SS Schools, but the physicality was a big adjustment. I think as a flanker in the breakdowns, when you're playing at an international level, the guys there, they're not compromising when it comes to their defense and their breakdowns.
So, SS Schools is incredibly interesting in terms of coaching. You arrive after your game on a Saturday. As the coaches would arrive, we arrived on Saturday. The players start coming in on the Sunday. So most of the school, when I say most of the players, I mean 90% of them. Their biggest game in the schoolboy calendar is your last game of the season. You arrive there and the guys are sore on the Sunday, properly sore. You got a test match on the Friday, you know. So you got 5 days to negotiate. Where I don't want to say unlearn some of there's new calls that you've got to learn, definitely. And how much can you really do in those days in terms of the on-field stuff? So there's a lot of planning that goes into it that people don't know, and there's a lot of attention to do, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's actually where the first time I got to work with Coach Jacques Nienaber, and he showed us a lot of ropes, and even like until today, you know. Yeah, so that's basically where it all started, and it was a real eye-opener for me to see, you know, what it was going to take to get to test level.
I was telling someone that Jacques Nienaber, when we started, wasn't a designated coach for a particular team. He was what we call the high performance manager for SARA, and you know, over the next cycle he's now World Cup champion. You know, so you know, in the time preceding that, they were instrumental in putting together this EPD program that SARA have, and it's been instrumental in producing players for South African rugby.
Mzwake Nkosi, the Slayer of the North, he's an incredible coach too. He's bold. You know, he speaks and he commands all of it. You know, he fills the room when he speaks. And where I got to know the man incredibly well was when I saw the compassionate side, which he doesn't always show, understanding, student of the game, astute, great planner. And Mzwake is where he is because he's worked for it. Also, he's been incredibly privileged in the mentor that he's had in Carl Spillas, who was part of the game for so long, you know. So it's not by chance that Mzwake is where he is, Vessel's where he is, because he's had oaks like Wim Dries, Wim Saki, and there's been a lot of people at Grey that are still there and he can still lean on. Same with myself, Kevin Taylor at Selborne, Max Norman. Those guys have all been part of schoolboy rugby for so long. So the most important thing sometimes that we miss is who's behind us supporting us. So, and that's where Mzwake got it right.
You know, I've known Mzwake probably since he was about 16. Crazy as ever, full of life, full of character, but passionate about rugby and passionate about the boys. I think that's probably the biggest thing that comes out of Mzwake. You know, he goes crazy at them and he goes mad at them, but you know, and all of that is out of love. You know, Pure for all his cool, calm, collectedness. You know, he doesn't take too many prisoners once he gets onto the field, and he sort of knows what he wants, and the boys sort of know where they stand with him. But once again, extremely invested in the people that they work with, and I think that's what makes them special.
I've been blessed to have had that opportunity that's provided me with as a springboard to become a junior pro coach, and you know, I can only be grateful. You know, to have not many people have the opportunity to work with that caliber of players for that period of time. I mean, I think I spent something like 4.5 years, 5 years.
I think the whole Craven Week process, the whole SA Schools process, for any player to get there and for any coach to get there, really takes a lot of sacrifice behind the scenes. So to all the South African school coaches out there, I mean, I think it's just a massive feather in the cap for the product that they produce and the guys that end up playing Craven Week and the sacrifices that they make, because taking, you know, pretty much a whole month of June off so that you can, you know, give of yourself to other people, I think it's a massive feather in the cap.
I've had the privilege of working with some special leaders. You know, if I look at the Travis Gordon, the Salman Murat.
The 2 meter tall, 112 kilogram Murat.
Another turnover ball. This is danger, and Salman Murat is there. Murati's got 1 try, he's got 2 tries.
Running onto the field as a captain for the SS Schools team was, in all honesty, at first it was really nerve-wracking because you know that there's this massive responsibility that comes with it. That's when you start realizing, okay, there might be a good chance of hopefully one day making a career out of rugby. It was just about playing well, getting to know the players, and at the end of the day, just trying to lead by example.
Yeah, Salman as a captain, his leadership he was not just only like a captain, but on and off the field he was like a captain. Ambrose doesn't right, does his right, try this and try this, but his leadership was really great.
That's better ball for them now. Which way does this ball bounce? He's brought down by Papir. He's one of the smaller men on the field.
But look at this defensive effort by Papir. He just kept chasing and chasing. Hauled Dacron down. He had a trailing knee that got in the way and saved the blushes of Damien Willemse.
Outstanding play. He has a real chance for Papir. And South Africa have got their 3rd try.
Damien Willemse was a sight to behold at SS Schools level. The game came really easy to him.
Turnover ball for South Africa. Kwesi Mafu with a nice pass. Willemse seems to have recovered, and that's a good kick from him.
Gora looking for quick ball to Willemse. Decides to take it on himself, and he's got over the line as Damien Willemse.
Yeah, playing with Damien, he's quite a great guy. We're very close, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. I know his family, so yeah, it was quite easy playing with him.
I'm very interested to see how Muzi Maniki develops, because he was very good. And it was interesting, you know, with Muzi as a natural 13, he played the Craven week as a 15. And it tells you something about his character. He was quite comfortable to play 15. It could have cost him an SA Schools spot, but that was, the team was more important to Muzi.
SA Schools now really firing, coming together. Yonka cuts out everyone. Manyika is going to try and round them, and he does it. SA Schools starting to dominate.
Henko van Wyk he's got the maturity, he plays with the maturity of a kid, you know, older than him, or a player older than him. Seldom meet players who are that talented and just want to absorb and have the hunger to absorb what you as a coach want to, you know, give to them. And you know, his ability to pass, his ability to beat his defender are characteristics that make him a quality player.
Rather, the captain, Goosen, now goes on a run. Gets out the pass. Henko van Wyk. Van Wyk puts his head down, options around him. He's going to turn to his own pace, and the gas pays off. Now Goosen goes on another charging, rampaging run. Box. Van Wyk. Henko van Wyk, plenty of space. Holds on to it once again. His pace is just too much. Henko van Wyk gets his second.
2018, we had Jacques Goosen, the hooker, who's known to the Selborne boys as a raging bull. And I think in itself you can understand what that means when you're the raging bull.
The ball's been set up. Now, is that a try? Yes, it is! Goosen with the second. Goosen to Deleu. The ball set up. Goosen marches towards the try line, gets the try, extends the lead.
Standout game in that SS School series was definitely the game against France at Bishops. Going into that game, France was really highly rated, and at the end of the day, we won that game quite convincingly. It was a good morale booster for us going into the England game, which was also very special to me, only because we played at Paul Boys, that final game. It was really tough. We were trailing for most of the game. Came down to the dying seconds, and we managed to score a try at the end, which was very special to me. I mean, that was arguably the last game that I played at school.
Right in front of the uprights. Johnny Lombard sends it wide. Mike Vanavana is short of the line.
Use the line.
Oh, lovely timing in the pass. Is that Salman Murat? I think it's the captain who's got it. Conversion to come. Johnny Lombard is a scholar here at Paul Boys High. This is to win the game for his country. Lombard's kick. He's nailed it.
Wow, what a wonderful kick.
You know, the try against Argentina that I think Bobby Alexandra scored was quite a special try, because you know the forwards did the hard yards in the scrums, and the Argentines are quite renowned for their strength in scrummaging. I thought the boys did well. If I recall, they got a left shoulder, and it was a simple backline move, just sort of set up Zaylinger straight him down the touchline. But I mean, he's a big boy who sort of got the ball out to Tarquin Manuel, and I think the pass was literally on his knees, on his bootstraps, and he caught this thing, kept on running, got tackled, was able to pass it back on the inside, and you know, Bobby Alexander obviously finished off. So it wasn't really about the try scorer, but I think it was, if he ever summed up a team try, it was about that.
I would say the first game we played against France, and in the first half, they took us by surprise. I think we had never played a game with each other, obviously, and they had just come off a Six Nations campaign. And they really did show us what international rugby is about. For me personally, it really was a very tough welcome to international schoolboy level.
Think to last year's SA Schools game against England. You know, the players had lost a fly half. I think they were 2 fly halves down. A scrum half eventually had to come into position, and the game was just falling apart. And at that time, the nicest thing to see was how the players themselves sort of took control of the situation, and they sort of came together and decided which way the game was going to go.
And another opportunity. Jan-Hendrik Wessels. I think he scored it. Had the presence of mind to stretch out the great college boy. South Africa desperate to try and get a try now if they can. Henko van Wyk. Nice running, Henko van Wyk. He's got so close, and he scored! Outstanding play there from the outside centre. And here comes Cronje again with a little pop pass. There's a chance for South Africa. Gideon van Wyk's got it.
No. This is a huge kick.
Shouldn't have a problem with the distance. It's a better strike. It's a much better strike. He's got the 3 points. Alexander, he's got a whole map of guys out wide, but this time they decide to go the other way. And how about that? So neatly done. And a try for Keen Gallant. Well, they've won the penalty. You know, and they've stage managed this finish rather well.
I tell you what, Tsuku Paloi with that smart little grabber did well.
Oh, what a game it was. It had everything you could have asked for. South Africa stay unbeaten.
For me, that was quite a special moment, because the team had come from behind. They were really struggling with the confidence, but it was also quite nice playing in Wellington at Huguenot, because the crowd just got behind South Africa against England. And let no one lie to you, I don't know where they get it from, but everyone knows that there's no love lost between South Africa and England.
Our coach really wanted to get a win in that last game, because SS Schools haven't won all 3 games in, I think, the last 5 years. We had to put points on the board as quick as possible and first.
I think it was Pepsi Buthelezzi's group. You know, they lost 3 games in the international series. They didn't win a single game.
Yeah, it was a tough year in terms of SA Schools coming off Craven week. We didn't do too well. We lost all 3 of our games, but we had fun. But yeah, in terms of results, we didn't produce the results we're looking to produce. Yeah.
And that's international rugby. You learn from that. And that's the beauty about it, because we're still at school. Yes, we want to win, but we lost that game, you know, but the guys came back well in the second half, and you can forgive them. That's not pressure we have to feel with. It's just managing so that those guys are ready for under-20s.
3 years later, they were the team that was competing almost, you know, very close to making the finals of the Under-20 World Cup. So those are nice stories to see, and it's not just about winning. You know, we want to win. I must state that we want to win, and it's nice. We want to be competitive, but it's not just about that. It's about seeing this process come through.
I mean, we had some superstar coaches there and some really experienced players. I think The whole campaign was just a crazy learning experience for myself.
Making SS schools was something I didn't expect because I come from a small town, not a lot of guys is playing rugby, they're all soccer guys. I didn't think when I first went to the Craven week, so I didn't think about SS schools, so that was just my mindset. So it was all just to play well and that just to play good rugby at Craven week.
Advice I'd give to any schoolboy rugby player is just to enjoy. Because those moments don't come around often. You know, it's just 3 games of your life representing your country, and it might be the last time. So
that's why the guys go. They all want to stake their claim. The professional era has brought in a, let's call it a pipeline. You know, you've got your green squads, and you've got all of this that you desperately want to get into it. And the pinnacle at schoolboy level is pulling on that green jersey in a test series against England, Wales, France, whoever. And knowing you've now officially staked your claim to become a professional rugby player.